like I always have had really good perspective on everything that's kind of happened in my life, whether that's been good, whether that's been bad. And then obviously coming to the WNBA, like I've said, I feel like I've earned every single thing that's happened to me over the course of my career. But also, I grew up a fan of this league from a very young age. Like, my favorite player was Maya Moore. Like, I know what this league was about. And like I said, like, it's only been around 25 plus years. So I know there's been so many amazing black women that have been in this league, and continuing to uplift them, I think, is very important. And that's something I'm very aware of. And like I said, like, I try to just be real and authentic and, you know, share my truth. And I think that's very easy for me. Like, I'm very comfortable in my own skin. And that's kind of been how it is my entire life.
Yes. And you'll never be able to make everyone happy. And someone that knows that at the age of 22, like, let's go.
I mean, I think I have good perspective on that. And like I said in the article, which turned out amazing, I thought it was great. I said, I feel like one of my best skills is just blocking things out. Like, I don't really, the only opinions I really care about are the people that I love, my teammates, my coaches, the people inside of our locker room, the people that I see every single day, and I know have my best interests at heart too. So I think my best skill is just blocking out the noise, and hopefully it continues to be, because with the way things are going and where the WNBA is going, you want that attention and you embrace it, and that's what makes this so fun.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the whole Caitlin Clark bending the knee to the race hustlers, right? Because I have a problem with this whole kind of her apologizing for her white privilege. She's trying to essentially accentuate that if she was a black woman, like let's take the argument, right? Inverse theory, right? If she was a black woman, like, you change nothing about Caitlin Clark. She still shoots the same way, she still has the same play style, still went to the same school, but you made her a black woman. You don't think she'll have the same level of success that she does now? I would think so, because to me, skin color is nothing more than superficial. This is why racism is bad, because you're judging someone based on a superficial aspect of something that they had no control over, that plays no part into your abilities. It's just a skin suit. But because of your skin suit, you think people will have a different perception of you. Wouldn't that make the people racist? When the majority of this country isn't racist. But here she is. If I was like, if a black man was saying something like this about white people, oh, I have a black privilege or something like that, black people will be getting on them saying, oh, why are you apologizing for your blackness? Couldn't a white person see this and interpret this as why she's apologizing for her whiteness just because a bunch of black players that came to the league before her, which those black players had no control over, by the way. They didn't control when they were born, and they had a chance to build. Because here, I'm about to go on a rant. I'm a basketball fan. Some of you guys know, I make sports analogies a lot on this channel. There was a lot of players that built up the league before Michael Jordan came onto the scene, right? Michael Jordan didn't have to do any of this. Actually, I don't know. I feel like men are more able to put their personal feelings aside and be like, no, we all going to win. We all going to get money out of this. And this was some of the commentary that male sports analysts was trying to tell the WNBA. Y'all need to stop hating on this girl. Y'all need to stop hurting this girl, because she going to get y'all the bag if y'all calculate this carefully. And instead, they bullied her. They prosecuted her. Let's get into the article, because I want to highlight something about white privilege and why it doesn't exist. And that, in my view, if you're a black person that believes in white privilege, you are holding yourself back mentally, and it's your fault. I'm just being honest, because essentially you're saying that nothing, no matter what you do as a black person, there's no way you'll be as good as a white person because they have white privilege, because of their skin color. That's a fixed mindset. This is why I hate the white privilege stuff. White privilege, the concept of white privilege is garbage, goobly-gook. It don't exist. It only is a figment of many black people's imagination. You're conditioning yourself in a fixed mindset. Because of something I cannot control, I cannot get certain outcomes. This is essentially what you're telling yourself this. And you want Caitlin Clark, because you believe she has some credibility because of her skin color, but you want to call me but you want to say black conservatives hate themselves. It's not like black Democrats, black liberals hate themselves, because they want their confirmation bias. They want white people to confirm how they feel about themselves. They want white people's validation. And as a black conservative, I don't care about anyone's validation. I'm going to say what I said, and if you're mad about it, that's your business. That's why I said black Democrats are the real coons in the community. They're the real sellouts. Because essentially you're selling out black people and telling them they can't do nothing because of the skin color. When if you look at objective reality, there's nothing in reality. The reality of racism cannot stop you in 2024. If you're good enough, you're going to play. But instead, you want this white girl here, sorry, I'm being a little racial today, to kiss your A to make you feel better about yourself. This is all it is emotional appeasement. This is the same level as if you wanted a man to validate a trans man of being a woman. This is the same thing. But you want to talk about white privilege? This is black privilege. That you can guilt a white person into believing your subjective view of the world with no evidence to suggest that somehow she's getting special treatment because of her skin color. You got no evidence of this. But you can guilt her into saying something like, oh, I earn everything that I got, right? I want to say that I earn everything that I got, but as a white person, there is privilege. That's all you wanted to hear. Oh. Kaden Carr talks about she only cares about the opinions of her family, her teammates, and her fellow athletes. These athletes are the ones pushing her to do this. And she's doing this just to make her life easier. Can you blame her? You saw they were playing football with her, WNBA. And she backed down. In this next clip, Megyn Kelly is going to give her commentary on this, and I agree 100% with Megyn Kelly saying over here. She bent the knee. She's doing this to self-preservation. I think in my view, she took the coward's way out. And after the clip, I'm going to show you some examples of how white privilege doesn't explain why white people tend to do better in certain things than others. Let's take a look.
And she gets people tuning in on television. And all really we want to hear from anybody about this is thank you. Thank you to Caitlin Clark for making our league relevant and so on. But instead, she's been bullied repeatedly by the players in this league. She's been assaulted physically. She's been scratched in the eye. And I mean, all of this is on camera. We've covered it repeatedly on the show. So she gets this honor. And all she has to do is continue staying above it. Thank you. I'm grateful. Love being in the WNBA, and I love my colleagues who I play with, my teammates. That's it. Instead, she decides to go racial. And what she says is she feels the need to acknowledge her white privilege. Basically, she's sorry she's white. She feels really bad about it, though, so you should give her a pass. And then she makes a point of saying the ones we really need to be celebrating are the black women on whose backs this league was built, which I have to tell you is so condescending. It's true that most of these black women have been bullying her and want her to understand it's their league. Hello, you don't own the league. Blacks don't own the league, just like whites don't own tennis or golf. Nobody owns the league. This is America. Anybody can play if they're good enough. But they want her on the knee. You'll bend the knee and you'll apologize for being white, and you will suck up to the black women who built this league before you, or you will be beaten. You will be assaulted and you will be bullied with no friends. So she does it. She finally did it. She bent the knee, self-flagellated over white privilege. And look at the black women in this league. And I have to tell you, if I were a black woman in that league, I think I'd say, screw you. Because don't treat me like I am the ugly stepsister and you are Cinderella, and no prince is going to look at me unless Cinderella says, oh, give her a little time. Oh, put her in the spotlight for a moment. I would be offended, genuinely offended by her. Like, look over there. Look at them. They're not white. They did a lot too. And here's the other thing. It's totally insincere. And here's how you know it's totally insincere. Because if Caitlin Clark really felt uncomfortable in the spotlight as the newbie who's white, because white people didn't build the league, she wouldn't have said yes to being Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year.
My position has always been that identity politics is BS. If you judge someone based on the color of their skin, you're a racist. I don't care if you're black, white, Asian. I don't care what your skin color is. If you believe you're better than somebody or someone's inherently something because of their skin color, because of their racial group, you are a racist. If a black person thinks a white person is inherently racist because of their skin color, that black person is a racist. Debate me in the comment section. Oh, black people can't be racist. Why? That's a racist statement to say. It's like me saying a black person can't be an engineer. That's a racist statement. Oh, so my whole life is determined based on my skin color? Fixed mindset. And black liberals continuing wanting this concept of white privilege to be, I don't subscribe to that logic. White privilege is literally a virus. It kills the mentality of black people. And you wonder why black people don't get far in life. Why black people as a community falls behind other communities. Because other communities, they don't buy into this stuff. Now, I'm going to get the foundational black Americans mad. I'm a descendant of black immigrants. They didn't handicap me with this mentality. I believe this is coming from someone descended from black immigrants. I'm gonna tell you the reality of why black immigrants tend to do better than African Americans. If you look at the stats, black immigrants have a higher average income than African Americans. We don't poison our children with this mentality. If you want to talk about generational curses, the generational curses that the foundational black Americans inflict onto their own children is they instill an inferiority complex in the black community. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. I'm an American. I'm a black American. I'm not from Haiti like my parents. I'm born, raised here. I grew up here. I grew up around all of us as black Americans. But my culture was different from yours. That's the only difference. And I see the outcomes that I have versus the typical, right, African-American man. And I'm like, what you expect? You killed the mentality of your kids. You condition the mentality of your kids to see themselves as inferior to white people. That's like me saying that white people are inherently better at basketball. So if you put that in your kid, oh, it don't matter how you play. If you go against an all-white team, you're going to lose. If you instill that kind of mentality into your players, what's going to happen to your players when they face an all-white team? They're going to think they're going to lose. They're going to play half-hearted. They're not going to play 100%. They're not going to compete because you killed the mentality of the player. You learn this in sports. It don't matter how talented you are. Look at Ben Simmons. This is an example for all my political people. Ben Simmons is a basketball player with great potential. He's essentially a 6'11" point guard, physical, strong, big. He could average 25 points a game without shooting a three. This was the kind of player Ben Simmons was. But what happened to him? His mentality got effed up, and now he can't, like, people write him off. He can't even play anymore. Essentially, this is what older generations of African Americans have done to the current generation of African Americans. You instill a fragile mentality into your children, and you wonder why y'all still lagging behind. Why y'all still at the bottom. Because you put a loser mindset in your children. And that's the real generational curse of foundational black America. Is because they have a confirmation bias about how slavery is holding them back, even though they never experienced slavery. They never faced the same level of racism as their ancestors in the past, but they like to pretend to because they suffer more from imagination than from the reality. And here's the reality. School denies white students reading help to prioritize minorities, legal firm says. The firm says that the alleged school policy would be rescinded. This is racism. If you switch the color and we said black, Asian, Hispanic, everyone will call it out. This is racism. But for some reason, when it's white people, we shouldn't be doing that. Imagine saying prioritizing white people over black students. Y'all would say that was racism. Call a spade a spade. Anti-racism only breeds more racism, and this is why many people have a problem with what Caitlin Clark is doing. She's bending the knee to this stuff. Kids' time spent on reading by race, because there's a lot of good correlations that come with education when it comes to reading. Kids that know how to read, tend to do better in academics, tend to have a success in college. According to available data, when considered time spent reading by race, children who are identified as white, Asian, or Hispanic tend to report spending more time reading for leisure compared to black children. With a significant gap observed in that percentage of students stating that they read for fun almost every day, this disparity is often linked to factors like social economic status, access to books within different communities, all full of crap. Because the first book I read was the Bible. It still had words in it, right? I learned how to read with the Bible. That's how I was taught how to read at 6 years old. What black people's excuse are? Oh, we don't have access to books. You don't need much books. You just need a couple. Boom. All right. Learn the words in this. Learn how to decipher information you don't know. Like, if you have a winning mentality, you'll find a way. You optimize for what you have, because you don't all have bad stuff. To me, growing up poor wasn't a disadvantage. It was an advantage. In a poor environment, I got to hone my mentality. Who can stop me? No one can stop me. Only I can stop me. Growing up in a poor environment, it helped me be resourceful. Hey, I work with what I got. Hey, I can't afford a trainer to learn basketball. Okay, let me go on YouTube. Let me find some free resources and let me be my own trainer. Let me make out my own basketball program. Let me go practice on the park. But people use this as excuses for, oh, why I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that. Oh, I couldn't make it in college because there's no resources in school. I wonder if black players took the same mentality when they were trying to make it into the NBA. You didn't have money to spend on no basketball trainer. You just, what you did, you went out of the park, you practice on your own, you practice the basics, your shooting, your stuff, and you become better than the kid that came from a privileged private school, rich family that can afford public a personal trainer, basketball trainer. But all of a sudden when you take that out of sports and you put it into another arena like academics, all of a sudden black people can't do anything without resources. But it all starts at home. It's the culture at the house. Like, I read to my kid since he was 1 year old. I've been reading books to my son because I was an Advent reader. Studies show, hey, if your parents, look at the books behind me. Like, I don't know if you can see it. Look at the books behind me. These books are the ones I read already. These are right here in the corner. I can't point real good because I don't have the camera. Those are books I have yet to read yet. My kids see me read, and it sparks that curiosity, right? If you like soccer, right? Like I was playing soccer. My son gravitates to what I'm doing because he wants you. You know, kids look for your validation. They look for your approval. So they tend to mimic what they see. So if the kids see you reading a book, they're going to want to read a book. Those things cost no money. So the excuse of social economic stuff, I find it like, yo, you guys are just making excuses. And everything I named, it's not an advantage based on your skin color. It's an advantage based on actions and choices made, based on environment, based on culture. If you're raised in a culture where, yo, 2-parent household, that's a privilege. You know that? That's an advantage. Being raised in a rich household, LeBron James is rich, right? His son got into the Lakers, right? Is that black privilege now? No. It's being part of a rich person's family privilege. That's skin neutral. Your race doesn't determine whether you're going to be rich or not. Privilege is earned. You're calling achievement privilege. Make it make sense. Someone achieves something and you want to attribute their achievement to race. That's the most racist thing I ever heard in my life. Spewed by these anti-racist black people. Make it make sense. Everything they claim is always the opposite of what they want. This stuff will breed more racial animosity, and I don't understand it. Because the reality is you guys don't want unity. It seems like you want revenge against a group of people that did nothing to you just because they happen to share the same skin color as people that did something to people that look like your skin color. Make it make sense. But you have no personal history with it. But keep holding on grudges. I'm done with my rant.
But before she entered a league that started in 1997, there were the Lisa Leslies and the Don Staleys and the Cheryl Swoops of it all who really built this league, and they weren't getting the attention because...
Correction, the NBA built this league because they weren't getting the attention because women wasn't giving it to them. Like, make it make sense. Women, feminists, they always run around, we don't need no man, but y'all don't support none of y'all women-only stuff. Women don't have as much interest in sports as men. So you want men to watch both the male game and the female game. This is essentially this is the argument. This is why the WNBA is not popular. Because men are like, hey, I only got an hour a day to watch sports. Which one am I gonna pick? The NBA, where they dunking, they moving fast as hell, crossovers. If you look at the WNBA, it's getting there, but it's not as skilled as the NBA. WNBA players always talk about, oh, we're so much skilled in the... No, you're not. You ain't shooting like Curry. The only player I can think of that shoots like Curry, Stephen Curry, is Caitlin Clark. That's why she gets the attention. She's like, oh, okay, we find someone who's similar enough. And this is the argument. People are like, yo, the WNBA and the NBA on its own is just a better product than the WNBA. And instead of being better, WNBA want to be bitter.
The league was built in a way in which it wasn't mainstream. And all she's simply saying is that I want to respect those who come before me. Now, conservatives do one of two things that I am so fascinated with, especially when it comes to her. Either they whine or they bully. So now it's time to do both. They're bullying her when she decides to just like a post.
Criticizing someone isn't necessarily bullying them. And what you guys did to her was more bullying than anything conservatives ever did. All conservatives are saying is, we disagree with you. We think you're sending the wrong message. That's all conservatives are saying. But you want to interpret it as bullying, but not she getting poked in the eye, aggressive play, hard fouls, right? The way the WNBA players treat her, the atmosphere around her, her teammates not helping her up when she was getting hit, and people were calling it out. People across all political spectrums, all skin colors were saying, yo, that's your teammate that just got fouled hard. Y'all, I would have been in someone's face if you did that to my teammate. Where's the camaraderie? Where's the camaraderie with the fever? Everyone was calling it out. But you want to pretend, conservatives big and bad. I find it so interesting. Projection.
About Taylor Swift post about Taylor Swift endorsing Kamala Harris. They
endorsing
unfollow her,
voting,
like saying go vote, and then they unfollow her in droves. And then she says, "You know what? I am
Liberals do the same thing, but
so grateful for all this money I make. I'm making more money than most of these women will ever see in their lifetime because I am a great player, but I'm also someone that they are using as their message person."
Michael Jordan is talking about all the times like, yo, the LeBron James of the world, the Kevin Durant's of the world, they're making way more money than Michael Jordan ever did. And people still consider Michael Jordan the best player in history, the best basketball player in history. And you got guys in the league that not even top 20, top 10, making more money than Michael Jordan made his entire career. You hear the men complaining about that? No. But for the women, it's like, oh, we want recognition. We want praise. And I think it goes to this need for validation. And I think this is in the crux of why I believe Caitlin Clark bent the knee. But I digress.
They are using me as a conduit to get their message out. And she says, no, I don't want any of that. I'm grateful. And hopefully I can shine some attention on Bakari because no one's paying attention to Bakari. And so I'm going to give Bakari some attention because you know what? Thank you for keeping this league alive, Bakari. Everything that you've done has really got to the point where I can be here and benefit in this moment. And Megyn Kelly saying she's on a knee apologizing because she's white. She's acknowledging the reverse DEI that no one wants to talk about. She has a privilege. She has been in this league for a year, and she makes more money than the people who built this league, and she understands there's a reason. Not because she shoots the ball well. Yes, that also helps, but there's another reason, Scott.
What matters more? So we could have just took any random white person, put her in Caitlin Clark's position, and she would have been the most paid athlete? That's a part. No, that's the most important part. She has the skills to back it up. Like, make it make sense. Y'all was trying to give this other girl, Angel Reese, Rookie of the Year over her. It's like these people think we forgot the campaign that they were running for Angel Reese with her fake double-doubles. Trying to make her the Rookie of the Year over Caitlin Clark because of the skin color. Even though Caitlin Clark was head and shoulders more skilled, averaged more points, more assists than Angel Reese. Angel Reese has like 11-11. She was averaging 11-11. Caitlin Clark was doing 18, 20, drop a 30 piece. And you try to make it like it was like a back and forth competition for Rookie of the Year because of skin color, because of identity politics. And then you're projecting that white people do the same thing that you are doing. And this is why I say this is all pure projection.
There's a reason that says I'm white and it's a privilege and people love me. And I'm okay with that, but I want to also acknowledge everyone else. Why is she being bullied?
Why is that wrong?
Why is she being bullied for acknowledging something that's smart, truth, and factual?
It's not factual.
Well, a couple things. Number one, whether you're an athlete or anyone else, if I hear you use the phrase "my truth," I immediately then discount everything else you say because there isn't my truth or your truth. There's just the truth. And when you start using phrases like that, it tells me that
That's not true.
Your brain has been captured by something that I don't really respect.
That's not true.
Number two.
That's not true.
Number two, the attention the league got this year was amazing, and it was all because of her. She is an amazing player. The arenas were full when she played in them. The TV ratings were up when she was on television. That's undeniable. But the league still lost like $40 million this year. And it's never made money. And to me, when you're talking about having respecting people who built something. What did they build? A league that loses money every year? She has the capacity.
What do you mean?
to
What did they
possibly-
build? What do you mean? What did they build?
What kind of a business did they build?
They've
It
had a
doesn't make
business
money.
model that has allowed women who have never had a professional sport.
Oh, see, this is what I'm talking about. I don't care about your feelings. Look at the results. The results are in. If someone's like, it's the cheating example. If someone's cheating on you, but they're telling you, "I love you. We built this great relationship here. It's just, I had to step out." You look at the actions and say, it don't matter if you say you love me, if you say, I don't care about the platitudes. What is the result? You stepped out of our marriage. You stepped out of our arrangement. You cheated on me. Your actions say you don't love me, even if you give me flowers every day, even if you hug me, even though you make me feel like the greatest woman in the world, in our marriage, in our household. We agreed that we will be exclusive with each other, and you still stepped out on me. That's the result. That's the outcome. That's what matters. But she wants to go on this little pity party. Oh, look, this is a space for women to finally play sports. It ain't our fault that women are not interested in the women's sports. Because if women spend a lot of money. If women were interested in the WNBA, the WNBA would be the most profitable league compared to the NBA. But they're not. But she's sitting here just pretending that it's because of racism and all this stuff. No, the consumers just don't like your product. I still remember vividly Shaq mentioned to one of the WNBA players that they should lower the rim so that way they can dunk to bring more excitement, and they rejected it and they thought it was insulting that they had to lower the rim so it could be easier for them to dunk. You play with a smaller basketball and you're mad that he's saying lowering the rim? Like, make it make sense. But hey, pride goes before the fall. But this behavior continues to be subsidized by the NBA, and this is why they feel so entitled.
Here in America, in the United States of America, to play. They've kept it alive as opposed to sending them overseas. That's what she's built. That's what they've built.
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's like a participation trophy. Oh, we built the league. It's not profitable. But we built the league. But it's not profitable. I'm tired of the pity party, guys. I honestly am. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I know it was a long video. I'll probably have to cut this video down a lot. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you guys watching the end video. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.